At Method Learning, our college prep experts are here to guide your student every step of the way. From boosting ACT SAT scores with proven test prep strategies to navigating the complex world of college admissions and to maximizing financial aid and scholarships, we provide the expertise your family needs for success. Join us as we talk to our Method Learning experts to provide you the insights into how your student can excel through the college process. Welcome back to the Method Learning Meet Your College Expert. So excited to have another fantastic guest with me, and I will have her introduce herself. But we are going to be diving into the world of college advising today. So let me ask you, tell me a little bit of background about yourself.
Sure. Well, so happy to be here. So excited to kind of share with everyone my background, my experiences, and how and why I love this field. So a long time ago in high school, I was one of those undecided students, middle of the road students, not quite sure what to do, what to pursue. Took some assessments, but was never really given the opportunity to really dive in and understand what my strengths were and what types of careers I'd really thrive in. So not having all of that made my experience as a student a little bit more like experimental, to say. So when I grew up, I wanted to become a school counselor, and I started working my first job in admissions at a university in New York. And through working in that, I really understood other students who had the same situation as me, wanting to go to college, but unsure of what to pursue. And so working there, I was like, maybe I want to work more in higher ed and help these kids. So I ended up doing that, working in financial aid, college advising, and continuing in higher education for my entire career. So really, that's what made me want to be in the career, is helping other students find their framework and put them on a path for success, ultimately for college and beyond.
I love that. And so I hate to ask, but how long have you actually been a college advisor? You kind of alluded to it.
I know. Well, actually, so I got my first job at the university in 1998. So you can do the math. So I've been working in high schools as director of college counseling, and then in different roles within universities that entire time.
That's amazing. No, and I'm sure you have seen it all in those numerous years, but it also sheds lights on your expertise, right? So let me ask this. So a question that I get from a lot of families is, how, as college advisors, do we really help students find that college fit? Mm-hmm. What's your approach to it?
So really, my approach is that they need to visit as many college campuses as they possibly can. Do some research, figuring out. I always like to start with some factors like maybe proximity to home. Is that important? But ultimately, it's that major is really a key point. What career track do you want to go into? And really looking at the different options that the different colleges have within your state, and getting on a lot of different college campuses, working at large ones and small ones. They have a different feel. And so understanding what type of environment you will be most successful in is kind of what I tell students, because all of us, there's different things that are important to all of us. And so making sure that when you visit, you're getting a clear picture of what it would be like to be on campus for 16 weeks in a row.
Imagine yourself. And I know that you have a strong approach to career, assessments and career counseling. Yes. That's kind of one of your big drivers when working with students.
Exactly. And so really helping students, first of all, uncover the different assessments that are available to them out there, because that, again, is one of the biggest questions that I get working with students is, I'm interested in so many fields. How do I narrow it down to just one? And so there's different strategies, different activities that I work with students on, whether that be taking an assessment and going through it with the family, or even looking at different program outlines for different degree programs and starting to compare and contrast the different options that the schools have to see what one excites the student the most, right? Like which one are they most passionate about and most interested in? A lot of times is a key connector to the field of study they want to pursue.
I love that. One time I was showing, somebody's like, I want to be an engineer. So we brought up the course sequence at the school they wanted to go. And they're like, I didn't realize it was so much math. And I'm like, yeah, if you don't like math, engineering is not for you.
It's tough. Right, exactly.
It's very tough. It's tough. So let me ask this, having helped myself, thousands of students through this process, how do you help students sort of balance that academic, extracurricular, and even those personal factors when they are actually applying to a college?
Right. So great question. We get this one a lot as well. So what I always look at is, again, making it student specific and making it individual to the student. And it doesn't mean that a student has to be involved in 10 different activities. If they're not interested in them, then there's really no sense of being involved in them, right? So finding those passions and those key points and those activities that, again, are fulfilling to the student, where they can learn, grow, and excel in certain specific areas, whether that be fine arts or athletics or volunteering or part-time job or internship. But just having a variety of different things on the application that shows the university that the student is trying and pursuing different opportunities to grow, maybe in the field of study, maybe having it connect back to the field of study if they know that. And then another great way, of course, is through the essay, right? Is making sure that we're connecting all of those things through that personal statement.
Absolutely. No, I think that that's one of the hardest things that students, when they approach that, they think that, oh, this isn't good enough to write on, like as part of an activity, especially if it's an outside passion, where a lot of times we want to highlight those things,
exactly.
Right? What's unique about them.
Right, and very unique things, summer programs. And then, yeah, it's all about trying to make your application as holistic as possible, telling your whole story through the different activities. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So, we talk a lot about in all of our webinars and the things that we do, current trends and emissions and kind of what's going on. So what are some things that you have seen as we're starting to get some decisions back now? What are some things that you've seen that you would like parents to know and students as we look towards the sort of the 2025-2026 cycle already?
I can honestly say that I think the trend towards test scores is back in full force. I've seen a lot of decisions where students are choosing to do test optional and they're getting deferred. And some of those opportunities and options aren't as readily available as the students who sent test scores. So number one, I would say strongly continue to prep for those tests and get your highest and best test score. Another one is the different types of admissions policies. I've seen a lot of different options this year on college applications. Would you be considered for a different campus or a different start time or some questions? So again, if a school is on your top list, then yes, you would want to answer those questions. Yes. And the last one is, I think that we are seeing a lot more creative programs being kind of started by the universities, whether that be accelerated programs. So students are, if they're on that fast track, they're able to get in and get out. And so really looking at those pre-professional, maybe dual admission programs in the medical field. And then also just looking at all the different honors colleges, I think too, is another trend that we're seeing more students being interested in, as well as, again, the state schools. We've talked about that. The increase in applications among all of the state schools just seem to be on the rise. And it'll be interesting to see the data from this application season.
Yeah, a lot of deferment for a lot of out-of-state students applying to in-state or like out-of-state public institutions. Right. So we are seeing that trend of
colleges sort of protecting their in-state yield first and foremost comparatively. So all things to watch, and love those insights for sure. So last kind of question, I want to keep this nice and short. And again, I so appreciate, Dr. Ruzicka, your time. Can you share a story with us of a student that you kind of helped guide through the process that really found their own success with your help?
The one that sticks out right now, off the top of my head, is a student who, her junior year, she was a competitive horse, she rode horses and was a competitive, and she unfortunately had an accident, fell off the horse and had a concussion. And so her junior year, her grades fell, and she was always an A student, but she had this unfortunate circumstance. And so when we were applying to schools, we included that in the application. However, some of the schools still were like, no, but then we were able to send in a letter of appeal and explain the situation a little bit more. And then she was able to get accepted. So again, making sure that the university understands the whole picture. We sent senior grades and showed that, it was just one of those unfortunate circumstances, why the dip in her grades, and then she went on to graduate school there. So again, helping students really navigate the system and explain unusual circumstances maybe is something that we really, I think, do a really good service to our students to do.
Exactly. And I think I know you and all of us as college advisors really work with a wide range of students, right? So all different backgrounds, and really it's telling their story, just like the student, right? What's your story, and how do we get that across in the few minutes that you have in front of those
exactly
admissions?
Right. And I think that's the value that we add, is because we've been on the other side of the desk in admissions and just understanding what speaks the most to those decisions and how to communicate that most effectively on that application, which you said, they only have 5 to 7 minutes per application. So making sure that that information is clear and concise is so critical.
Great. Now, if anybody has any questions and want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to contact you?
Pretty easy. My first name, Jessica at methodlearning.com. So again, thanks for having me on today. And happy to help anyone if they have any questions at all.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye.